Do you actually know what's your net worth right now? Not a guess, the real number. Most of the advice obsesses over the budget and the expenses categories and you're actually missing the most important, valuable parts because a budget doesn't tell you. But where is the overview, the structure, the strategy? If you've ever been stuck in budget guilt or wondering why your finances still feel so messy, it's not your fault. You've just been using the wrong tools. Because the thing is, budgets make you feel like you're doing something. But without the full picture, you might be optimizing the wrong things. I'm an accountant and I have a secret. I don't use personal budgets. Not because I don't know how to, but because I know exactly what the personal budget actually misses and what it plainly leaves out. A budget can't show you the full picture of your net worth. It doesn't tell you what the value of your assets are, or how much debt you still have, or what your actual total net worth is. That's why I don't use the budget. I use wealth dashboards. 2 of them to be precise. One is my personal wealth dashboard to track my own net worth, and the other is the household wealth dashboard to track our family's net worth for me and my husband. Let me ask you something. Do you actually know what's your net worth right now? Not a guess, the real number. If you know it, just respond in the comments and say yes. But if you're unsure of what your net worth is and need help determining this, I can review your finances and anonymously determine how far along you are in your wealth building journey. So all you need to do is send me the financial figures, which you can take a screenshot of your bank statement or send me a budget, and I will help you turn this into the wealth dashboard and share it here on LyfStyled. This will show you where you stand and how far you have to go from where your goal is. So you'll get a breakdown of your real financial situation, some tips to grow your wealth based on your current habits, and you can get a chance to be featured here on one of the upcoming LyfStyled videos. But you can still remain anonymous if you prefer. I've left the link to submit your request in the description below. If you are curious about the net worth of others and want to learn from the tips I will give them, just subscribe to my channel by clicking the button down below and turn on your notifications so that you never miss out on a video that could help you build your wealth so that you can reach financial freedom. Hi, I'm Ivy K, a nerd dressed like a mom with 15 years of experience in finance. I've spent 5 years in auditing and 10 years in investment management, analyzing the real numbers behind the big companies. And now I'm using that same lens to build lifestyle and financial freedom, one clear decision at a time, without burnout, hustle, or waiting for someday. Here's why it's important for you to watch this whole video. If you've ever followed a strict budget only to feel stuck and have no idea of the progress of your wealth, this video is for you. I've analyzed over 1,000 personal finance advice videos and articles that most people rely on. Most of the advice obsesses over the budget and the expenses categories like groceries or subscriptions, without ever stepping back to see the full financial picture. But imagine trying to run a business without knowing your assets, debt, or your income after expenses. Or imagine if an investment manager would try to invest in a company based on the budget that the company had for that year. That's what most people are doing in personal finance by just focusing on the budget. They will recommend things like trackers, budgeting apps, debt payoff tools, but where is the overview, the structure, the strategy? So I built the overview and structure that I wanted for myself. I first used these tools personally before coming here to share them with you. They are the wealth dashboards. The first one is the personal wealth dashboard for individuals, and the second one is the household wealth dashboard for couples and partners that are living together. I have now made these tools available in the link below to give you the financial visibility that you deserve so that you can run your own finances with clarity. Let's get back to the main issue here. What's the difference between a budget and the financial statements that I've included in the wealth dashboards? Let's start with the basics. A budget is a plan. It looks forward and asks, what do I want to spend or save this month? It tells you how much you intend to spend or save in different categories over a period, usually like a month. A typical budget would include your income, which could be like your salary or other inflows, and then the plans, or like I want to think about it, the hopes and dreams of how you intend to spend that income. These are planned expenses such as mortgages, rent, food, transportation, and sometimes you would also get a target for the savings that you want to have. That's helpful. But it's quite limited, to be honest, because here's the thing. A budget is only one piece of the puzzle, and you're actually missing the most important, valuable parts because a budget doesn't tell you how much debt you still owe, the value of your investments, the value of your assets, such as the properties or the balances in your savings accounts, and how much of your income is actually going towards your assets, what your overall financial position is, or how sustainable the lifestyle that you have is over time. If you are missing these core elements, you are unable to determine your net worth, which means you do not have any indication of how your wealth building journey is truly going. This also means that you are unable to use advanced financial techniques that would help you build your wealth. Personally, and this is honestly just my view of the budget, this is not financial advice, just simply how I feel about it. A budget is like wishes and dreams to an extent. Your income might be fixed, so you know how much you're getting. But your expenses will fluctuate based on your current lifestyle and the economy. You can influence your lifestyle, but the economy, there's nothing much you can do about it. The increase in groceries, in your transportation, are non-negotiable sometimes. You could plan an amount in your budget and say, this is what I want to spend. But at the end of the month, if you miss that budget, is it really your fault? Or is it just the circumstances that are beyond your control? That's why I personally feel that it is futile to pour such a lot of energy and attention into making and keeping a budget. Yes, you can have a budget, but there's so many other elements that actually have an influence on whether you are meeting that budget or not, that it can really discourage you from continuing in your financial journey, or it could show you a totally different picture. But financial statements, on the other hand, they look at what's actually happening. They show you real income, your actual expenses, your assets, your debts, and ultimately your net worth, which means that you are able to track your wealth journey and work on the big items that you can influence to grow your wealth. I've touched a bit on the wealth dashboards. I used my financial experience to create the wealth dashboards and incorporate elements that businesses use, such as the financial statements. Let's gain a quick look at the financial statements. They are included in the wealth dashboards that I have made available for you in the description below. There are three key statements: the income statement, balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. Let's start with the income statement. This tracks the total income that you receive. So this could be from your salary or from your business. All the actual expenses that you actually incur, not just estimates. And then what's left is your net income. This matters because this shows you exactly if your lifestyle that you have is actually sustainable. This also indicates if you're living below your means or if you're eating into your savings. Next is the balance sheet. This tracks your assets, what you own, such as the cash, investments, properties, And you know, with the 1% wealthy people in the world, they also include the value of the art that they have or collectibles. So someone like Jeff Bezos could include the collection of his fast cars into these assets. You also have the liabilities, which is exactly what you owe. These are your mortgages, loans, credit card balances. And then the difference between the two is your net worth, also shown as your equity, what the 1% truly values. This matters because this is your real financial standing, not how much you made this month, but what you're building over time. Then you have the cash flow statement. This shows you how much money is flowing in and out, where it comes from, and what it's going towards. This is important because if you're making money, but you're constantly broke, this will tell you exactly why. You might wonder just how different the financial statements are from the budget. Let's take housing, for example. A house is something most of us deal with. That's your home, right? So in your budget, your house would show up as one or two items. You would have your monthly mortgage payment, and maybe you could have some maintenance cost that you also put in there. That's it. Just a line item and an expense. But in your financial statements, which are in your wealth dashboards, housing tells a completely different story. On your balance sheet, you would have an asset, the value of your home. If you bought your home, say maybe 10 years back for, let's say maybe 400,000, by now you have gained some value on that home simply because of the appreciation of house prices. And the value of your house could be, let's say, 500, if we're just being conservative. So you have 500 as the value on your assets, and then your liabilities are still there. And let's say you still owe 400,000 on the loan that you took in order to get that home. This actually gives you 100,000 in home equity. And that line item alone actually tells you that your current net worth, when you're only looking at the house, is about 100,000. That's wealth. That's financial leverage. And if you're paying down the mortgage that you have, your net worth is going to grow every month, even if the budget doesn't show it. On your income statement, your monthly mortgage payment would be reflected as an expense. But this would also affect the income tax that you pay if in the country that you're living in, there's tax rebates. Because then this could lower the income tax that you're actually paying. The interest rate portion of your mortgage might be shown as an expense, but the principal portion is reducing the liability, which means it is building you wealth over time. This is why budgeting alone can make people feel like they're stuck or failing, when actually they're growing wealth silently. And for somebody who doesn't have a house, we could use lifestyle spending as an example. And a common example would be lifestyle upgrades. Let's say you spent 2,000 this month on your family vacation. In your budget, it looks like a massive red flag. You blew past the travel line item and maybe you're feeling guilty about it. But on your financial statements, you can ask better questions. Did you pay in cash or go into debt? Did your net worth drop, or your emergency funds and savings, are they still intact? If your net income is still positive that month and your net worth stayed stable, you didn't harm your long-term wealth, no matter how the budget is making you feel. That's the difference between knowing your money and just managing categories in your budget. Now, I've included something quite unique and special onto the wealth dashboards. And these are ratios and indicators that help you see a better picture of your wealth journey. In the wealth dashboard I built in the same kind of tools I used when analyzing companies while auditing and within investment asset management. These help you not only see the numbers, you're interpreting them. And here are some examples. You will find your savings rate, This will tell you what percentage of your income you're actually keeping. Then you could look at your debt to asset ratio, how leveraged you are, your net worth over time. This shows you the real progress in your building wealth journey, even when your income has not changed at all. And then you could look at the difference between discretionary and essential spending for your lifestyle alignment. With these ratios and more, you can assess your own risk, sustainability, just like a financial analyst would. When I stopped budgeting and started running my finances like a business, everything changed. I had clarity, confidence, and I was so calm because I wasn't just trying to cut back. I was trying to build up. And now you can also track your own progress without obsessing over the amount of money that you spend on coffee or an avocado toast. Just think about it. Would you rather know if you're on track to grow your wealth or just if you're overspending on groceries this month? When I started using the wealth dashboards for my own life, I could see which assets were growing and which ones weren't really worth my time to invest in. I could track how much of my income is going towards my lifestyle and what is going towards building my wealth. I stopped feeling guilty about spending because I could see what it did to my net worth. Having a dashboard changed my decisions. It helped me choose a life of quiet luxury and avoid lifestyle inflation. And now it's helping me prepare for my big transition into having a second baby, the maternity leave, without any panic. Don't get me wrong, budgets are useful and they help millions of people plan their monthly spending. But let's be clear, at the end of the day, budgets help you to restrict your spending because they only show you the income and how to spend that income. Financial statements, on the other hand, help you to reflect on each aspect of your wealth building journey. The difference is massive. Think about it like an investor would if he wanted to invest in a company. Investors don't ask to see the company's budget. No, it would be virtually pointless. The company budget would reflect the company's hopes and dreams to deploy capital in growing that company. Notwithstanding the fact that budgets are actually not published, they are kept for internal operations. Companies publish financial statements to shareholders, banks, and regulators so that they can see what's really happening. Investors want to know if the company is making money and growing its wealth, and what investments the company is making to grow that wealth. Why aren't you treating your wealth journey the same? I think we all know the answer to that question. So just get the wealth dashboards by clicking the link in the description below. If you've ever been stuck in budget guilt or wondering why your finances still feel so messy, it's not your fault. You've just been using the wrong tools. Start using the same tools that companies and investors rely on. Tools that show you the full picture. If you need help, don't forget to send your request for a financial review using the link in the description below. And subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on this journey to increase your net worth. Because the thing is, budgets make you feel like you're doing something. But without the full picture, you might be optimizing the wrong things. So, if you want to start building your wealth and using wealth dashboards and optimize parts of your financial statements to fast track your wealth building journey, watch this video next where I show you how to build your wealth without quitting your job or starting a side hustle. I'll see you on the next one.